and welcome back to the Changemakers Unplugged podcast, brought to you by the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. I'm one of your co-hosts, Ella, and today we are joined by our brand new co-host, Lyndsey.
Hi!
So, to start us off today, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up at the school?
Well, hello, my name is Lyndsey. I'm an incoming sophomore at the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy. When I was going to college, I really wanted to pursue something that I could help people in, and I wasn't really sure, which direction I wanted to go, with helping the community. But when I toured, IU Indianapolis, because I'm from around here, I'm from just 30 minutes north, from Fishers, and I toured IU Indianapolis and sat in on a presentation about the philanthropy school, and I just immediately fell in love with the concept of philanthropy. I had no idea what it was, but I knew after the presentation that I had been practicing philanthropy my whole life. And so I didn't realize this was something that you could pursue and study, and so I was really excited to find something that made me so excited to go to school for. And so I applied, and, here I am.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I like what you said about something that, gets you excited to go to school.
Yeah.
Because I definitely find that true for myself, but I've never, actually, fully thought about that, I actually am excited to go to school because I get to learn about how to make the world a better place.
Yeah.
And help people and give back. So I love that you said that. So you mentioned that you had been practicing philanthropy all throughout your life.
Yeah.
What did that look like for you? What have you been involved in?
Yeah, so I think my philanthropy journey really started in high school. I was in a couple clubs that were focused on helping the community and helping my high school. And then I was also really heavily involved in show choir in high school, and so we did a lot of philanthropic acts through that. We would have younger students come in and teach them music and what show choir is. And I think that was really beautiful, being able to teach younger generations art and how to express themselves through music. So I think that was a lot of what my philanthropy was. Yeah.
That's great. I love that. Perfect. So today, something that we wanted to do was a little bit of myth busting, if you will. Lyndsey, do you want to mention the myth that we want to talk about today?
Yeah, sure. So on our social media, a couple weeks ago, we posted asking our followers some common myths about philanthropy. And one that popped up a lot was money, and that philanthropy is only about money and giving money, and only rich people can be philanthropists, and that's just not true.
So this was a myth that I feel like we talked about a lot during our last semester and had a lot of debates about it.
100%.
And I think that it's really important because, we definitely see that in the news and on social media, we see things about big celebrities giving millions or even billions of dollars to their organizations or causes of their choice, but you don't really hear about oh, this person has been volunteering hours a week at this one organization. That is philanthropy too. Philanthropy is not just money, even though it may be the most advertised or rewarded type of giving, but it's not the only one. There is so many ways to give.
Absolutely, and I think that this is kind of a really hot topic in philanthropy, is the difference between formal giving and volunteering time and money, which are things that are much more easily measured, versus more informal giving, which most people don't measure, but it's still a form of philanthropy. One great example would be like helping your neighbor carrying groceries.
Yeah.
Like you're dedicating your time and your abilities to help somebody in need, and that is very much philanthropy, but not something we hear talked about very much.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that informal giving is so big, and I think that the sad thing about it is that because nobody talks about it and nobody actually like puts two and two together that they're giving, and because not a lot of people actually take the time to think about that, it's not often recorded. Because, like we have like Giving USA and like all these things, and they're really good about figuring out like how much money was given.
For sure.
But while they don't like get all of that money, like they don't record informal giving because that is so hard to collect. And I think a big reason is because people don't know that they're giving.
Absolutely.
And I mean, I definitely think that before coming to this school, that I didn't even like really think of informal giving. Like we talked about this a lot in our humanities class, and our professor like told me that because like I love cooking and baking, like that is something I love to do, and I love to bake and cook for my friends. And so like whenever I like go see them, like it doesn't even have to be for an event or like a gathering, like whenever I come see them, I'll just like bring them a loaf of bread, bring them a bag of cookies. And our professor was like, Ella, that is giving. Like that is informal giving. Even if it doesn't feel like it, it definitely is. And so I think that that is a really big misconception that people don't realize that they're giving.
Yeah. In our philanthropy classes, we talk a lot about the 5 T's of philanthropy: ties, testimony, time, talent, and treasure. And I think like you baking and cooking for your friends is not only time, like you're dedicating your time to like cooking and baking, but it's also talent. Like if you're good at those things and you know and you know that that's something that brings people joy, like that is you're giving in such a profound way. And again, we just don't always talk about those things as philanthropy.
Yeah, I definitely think it's important because I think that a lot of people can feel a sense of, I mean, I think that there's a lot of emotions that people can feel if they're not giving money to people. Like maybe that's guilt or something like that. Like because they're not giving thousands of dollars to disaster relief and all these things that like maybe they're passionate about. But the truth is you don't have to give money. Like but this person could also be volunteering or cooking food or mowing their neighbor's lawn every week and like them not even consider themselves a philanthropist.
I think being a philanthropist in different ways can also build a lot of community and connection. I think you were talking about the disaster recovery and like going out in your community and helping clean up and help your neighbors. Like that's a bond and like a connection that you can't always get with just donating money.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's super important.
We are starting a new segment on the podcast where we are answering a question of the day. If you would like your question to be answered, you can comment on the Changemakers Unplugged YouTube videos or on any of the Changemakers Unplugged posts on Instagram.
Okay. We have our questions today in our Changemakers Unplugged mug. Woo! You pick.
I'm nervous. Okay. Question of the day. If you could be an animal for a day, what animal would it be?
Well, personally, my favorite animals are whale sharks. But I think if I was an animal for a day, I would want to be a duck.
Why?
I love ducks. That's my honest answer.
Okay.
But, I mean, they can walk, they can fly, they can swim.
Right.
They're really cute.
The best of all the worlds.
Yeah. So
okay.
I would gladly and confidently be a duck.
A duck is a very interesting answer.
Thank you.
I think I would be a sea turtle. Go the same route as your whale shark.
Yep.
Sea turtles are my favorite animal, but I also think they just have such peaceful lives and they just swim and like explore the ocean. Yeah.
And they don't go like super deep too.
Right.
Like they're getting the good stuff.
Right. They see all the beautiful parts and none of the scary parts.
Exactly. Well, thank you for joining us for our newest segment, Question of the Day. As Lyndsey said, if you have one, feel free to let us know. I think that is it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in again, and we will see you next time. If you found our conversation today interesting and want to come visit the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy for yourself, you can schedule a visit with IU Indianapolis today.
You can do that by scanning the QR code or visiting the link below.
If you're interested in learning more about the Lilly Family School of Philanthropy, the Youth Philanthropy Initiative, or the Changemakers Unplugged podcast, you can visit our website.
Our website is philanthropy.indianapolis.iu.edu, or you can visit the link in the description.